Driver arrested for DUI following crash that seriously injured 2 youth riding a scooter. Utah Representative Celeste Malloy urges Congress to extend downwinder compensation. And will the cost of college tuition rise in southern Utah?
You're watching St. George News at 5.
Good afternoon, I'm Amy Bennett. After a car accident that seriously injured 2 teens on Friday night, a St. George woman has been arrested for suspected DUI and other charges. The driver, 18-year-old Christina Johnson, was arrested early Saturday morning and booked into jail on 3 third-degree felony charges. Here's Cody Blowers with more on this story.
A driver, 18-year-old Christina Juliana Johnson of St. George, is facing DUI and several felony charges. The charges were filed following an automobile versus scooter crash that was reported on 3000 East near Livia Drive at approximately 10 p.m. on Friday. The 2 juvenile riders were seriously injured in the crash and both were flown to Primary Children's Hospital in Salt Lake City. And while the driver was arrested for possible impairment, that may not have been the only defining factor in the crash. The accident reconstruction team was called out to the scene Friday night, and the incident is still under investigation.
Thanks, Cody. A program compensating individuals impacted by the exposure to radiation from nuclear testing and uranium mining during the Cold War is set to end in less than 2 months unless Congress acts to extend it. For more details, here's Maury Kessler.
A government program compensating those impacted by exposure to radiation from nuclear fallout produced by above-ground nuclear testing is set to expire this summer unless Congress acts to extend it. The Radiation Exposure Compensation Act, which originally passed in 1990, provides financial compensation to people who were downwind of nuclear testing sites between the 1940s and 60s. One such place was the Nevada test site, where nuclear fallout was carried downwind across the region. This has led to those people who are impacted by those tests to be called downwinders. This year, the act is set to expire on June 10th unless Congress votes for new legislation to renew it. Utah Congresswoman Celeste Malloy has introduced a bill that would extend the Compensation Act another 2 years. Similar efforts are being pushed in the Senate by Utah Senators Mitt Romney and Mike Lee. A related bill passed the Senate in March, which increases the pool of who can apply for compensation, while also increasing compensation amounts for claimants. This bill has yet to be voted on in the House, but does not have the support of Utah's senators, who said that the price tag attached was too great.
Thanks, Maury. The Utah Board of Higher Education recently approved a series of tuition and fee adjustments across the state's public colleges and universities. In southern Utah, Utah Tech University's tuition will go up 3.82%, second to Salt Lake Community College's 3.98%. However, technical colleges and technical programs will not see any increase in technical education tuition and fees. A metal train sculpture known as the Dixie Express, created by local artist Matt Clark, will now greet visitors to Enterprise. Here's Jeff Richards with the story.
A metal train sculpture created by local artist Matt Clark will now greet visitors to Enterprise. Known as the Dixie Express, the sculpture depicts an old steam engine locomotive pulling 2 cars containing stylized characters that are playing various musical instruments. It's a tribute to the pioneers who settled southern Utah in the 1800s, along with their love of music, Clark said. Up until recently, the sculpture could be seen in downtown St. George, but Clark has now donated the piece to his hometown of Enterprise. On Thursday, a group of workers and volunteers helped install the statue in its new home. A group of students from Enterprise High School helped weld the sections of track together.
Thanks, Jeff. Cedar City's 14-year-old Sydney Rasmussen placed second as the most promising vocalist at the North American Country Music Association International Competition in Tennessee last month. For more on this, here's Haven Scott.
And I'll do it 1,000 times again. I'll rise up.
Cedar City teenager Sydney Rasmussen has taken home titles from Cedar City and Iron County talent shows before. Her latest performance was in Tennessee, where the crowds were a bit larger.
And there were just so many amazing people there that watched me perform, and I got second in vocalist and third in entertainer for the new gospel category.
Part of the week-long North American Country Music Association International Competition and Award Show was the induction of Randy Travis, Barbara Fairchild, John Barry, and the late Mel Tillis into the Music Association's Hall of Fame in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee.
I got to meet with Barbara Fairchild, and she is so much fun. She is just a happy little lady, and I just love her to pieces. And then John Barry I got to take a picture with, and I got to talk to him a little bit, and I just said hi, and I was like, you're just so amazing.
Raised in a family that attends the Church of Jesus Christ Latter-day Saint services on Sundays, Rasmussen said gospel music has always surrounded her.
I grew up with gospel music, and I love it so much. And the way I feel when I hear it versus like rock music, it's just a huge contrast. And in the future, I just want to sing for God, and I want to give him all of the glory.
When she's not singing or practicing vocals, she likes to exercise for mental focus.
And when I exercise, it helps my mental health and my physical health, and I just find that life is a lot easier when I exercise. So I play soccer on the Lady Res team at Cedar High School, and I really love soccer. It's another one of my passions.
While singing on a national stage was quite the experience, Rasmussen said she's even more excited for her next performance at the upcoming Home and Garden Show at the Diamond Z Arena.
In Tennessee, it was like more people there. And then in the Cedar City ones, I felt like I was more comfortable because I knew the people I was performing for.
Mountains, we're gonna walk it out and move. Mountains.
Rasmussen currently receives coaching from Southern Utah University voice instructor Jackie Jackson and said previous encouragement from SUU graduate Chanel Sheeran started her whole career.
Thank you for watching St. George News at 5. I'm Amy Bennett with St. George News, your #1 source for local news.
This has been St. George News at 5.